Hey folks, this is Joy. Welcome back to the channel. Excited for the news that I'm going to be giving you guys today. But before I get started, if you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you know when I release all of my new content on everything college admissions. And if you appreciate the content, go ahead and like the video. Hit that thumbs up button right there in front of you. I really do appreciate it. All right, so today I'm happy to report that the UC Board of Regents, the Board of Regents for any kind of university system, is like a committee that is appointed to oversee the operations and well-being of the university. So the UC system, University of California Board of Regents, voted to finally get rid of the ACT and SAT in a 5-year plan. So a few months back I made a video, UC system, community groups, and some students, nonprofits got together and said, hey, we're suing, you gotta get rid of this testing requirement for college admissions, ACT, SAT being the top two. The tests, research has shown time and time again that these tests are discriminatory, that there are huge disparities that are based on race, economics, basically like how you were born, where you grew up, and that certain students can get test prep, get tutors, and kind of game the test, whereas other students may be able to take the test once or twice or get no test prep whatsoever or in under-resourced schools. And so it's not a fair assessment of a student's potential academic preparedness or academic potential, if you want to say that. It's more of an indicator of your family's status, your wealth, your parents' education level. So these groups sued USC back a couple months ago, and post-COVID, bring us back to March 2020, April 2020, UC system says, you know what, pressure from communities, in so many words, pandemic happening, students are out of the classroom, ACT, SAT are canceling upcoming test dates, and so they decide to temporarily go test optional for 2 years post-COVID. Or for at least for the upcoming fall semester, fall application system. And so recently, it got the news yesterday, it comes out that the University of California System Board of Regents voted unanimously to get a 5-year plan in place to get rid of the test altogether. So not only based on what we've been going through with the pandemic, but the research that has shown time and time again that these tests are not an accurate depiction of your academic potential, rather your socioeconomic status. Under this plan, over the next 2 years, so year 1 and year 2 of the 5-year plan, ACT, SAT tests are going to be optional for all applicants. So you can submit a test and it may have an impact on your admission, a lesser impact since it's test optional, but and you may not. So all students, year 1 and 2, test optional. In years 3 and 4, the standardized tests, ACT, SAT, is going to be eliminated for California students altogether. So year 3 and 4, California students will not have to take an ACT or SAT to get in. By the year 5 point, the UC system is hoping to have developed its own testing assessment. And now I don't know if that's going to be a personality test, an academic test, ASVAB type career and technical test that, you know, kind of gives you an idea of what path you should take. Not sure what kind of test is going to be, but the UC system is saying that they're going to develop a test by year 5. If they do not have this test in place by year 5 for all applicants, then California students who apply to the UC system will be assessed based on high school grades and any of the other 13, 14 factors that the UC system uses to admit students. I worked for UC San Diego last year, and high school grades, course rigor, test scores were just a few of the academic factors of the total 14 different factors that we look at when we're assessing applicants. And so by year 5, if the UC system doesn't have a new test in place, there will be no testing requirement for California students. And then there will be the option for, I don't know if it says option, but it says that UC applicants who are from outside the state or outside the country will still be able to use the ACT, SAT. So in year 5, if there isn't a new testing system that the UC has developed, testing platform or SAT, ACT type thing, then California students will have no testing requirement whatsoever using other factors, and students from outside the state and the country will have the option to still use the ACT and SAT as an assessment. So UC system, this is huge news. The UC system has 10 different campuses, 9 of them undergrad campuses, and last year alone for this upcoming cycle had in the range of 170,000 freshman students. So imagine 170,000 fewer students taking an SAT or an ACT. Now, SAT, they say they're nonprofits, that they're a testing company for the educational good, but this is a huge impact to their bottom line. So of course, the big wigs over at the ACT and SAT aren't happy about this change. It's money out of their pockets. Really, there's no incentive for a lot of students, especially if they're a California resident who are only applying to the UC system, to even take the test. And so, of course, there is opposition from that corporate side saying, hey, you know, you do need this test. This is what it does. There's been some opposition from community groups and students saying, you know, if you don't have this ACT, SAT test requirement in place, then the university is going to admit students who aren't academically prepared, or they're going to use some arbitrary factors that are not based in any kind of objective type system. But again, I go back to the part that the research has shown time and time again, that the ACT and SAT are heavily influenced by race, income, your parents' education level. And so it's not really a fair assessment. Still, before the board voted, I saw this letter from the head of the ACT, who basically had this series of questions they wanted the board to consider. I'm not sure if it's a he or she. They wanted the board to consider. And so let me just read some of these questions to you. This is what they proposed to the board. How much will a new assessment cost? So meaning, like, if the University of California system wants to put a new assessment in place, how much is it going to cost? And what are the current COVID-19 budget impacts? So basically saying, how are you even going to afford to implement a new test, develop a new test? Other question was, how will a new assessment system be implemented and stay within the proposed 5-year timeline? I mean, these questions are almost offensive. You have one of the best university systems in the entire world, 3 or 4 of the most elite universities in the entire world, and they're asking, how are you going to develop a new test within 5 years? We're trying to get a vaccine within a year. Of course it's possible. So third question, will the new president be ready to tackle one of the largest policy shifts in the system's history? Again, if we're appointing the University of California is getting a new president, and these folks over at ACT are basically asking, how is this new president going to handle this big policy shift? Well, they were made the president for a reason, because they're capable of doing what's best for this university. Let me just get through the rest of these questions. Should students be forced now to prepare for 3 standardized tests? You're not going to be able to convince me that the ACT or the SAT, getting rid of it is less beneficial than having some students have to take 3 tests. I'm sorry, I'd rather see the test go away altogether than have these what if questions come up about students possibly having to take 3 tests. And then the last question that the ACT had in their letter to the University of California Regents, Board of Regents, is, will this move really address simmering equity and access issues in education? Yeah, again, I speak from my personal experience as well as the research. I've read thousands and thousands of applications, and I've seen many well-qualified students who, as a university student for many years, I'd want as my classmate, as an admissions reader, as a college advisor, I would want as a student at my university. And the only reason that they don't get it in is because of a test score. Maybe they took the test once. Maybe they had an illness during the test. Maybe they had something tragic happen in their family the week of the testing. But that's the only thing that keeps them, you know, out of the university. And, you know, in the grand scheme of things, when we know that these tests are biased in so many ways, I don't think that's a good thing in any way. But that's what I have. My news, UC system, you know, good news for everybody. Education everywhere across the world. UC system is going test optional with plans to get rid of the ACT, SAT testing requirement for admissions by 2025. I'm glad to see it. I hope you folks are too. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like this video, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.